What's going on, everybody? My name is Ben and welcome back to Ben Builds. This is episode number 9 of the Whitley for the Bomber Command Buddy Build. And today, guys, we are pushing forward with paint. I'm going to go ahead and get this entire aircraft painted, camoed, the works today. So let's go ahead and start here on the bottom of the aircraft. We're going to do a marbling coat of some cooler grays. We've got this light gray, and I also have a extra dark sea gray. They tend to be on the cooler side of the color spectrum, which I like. We're going to then come in with some white, hit that around. Now I thought about going with this medium gray, but I thought, no, I'm going to stick with the cool grays. So let's go ahead and load up the airbrush with that light gray, and we're going to just go crazy with the marbling pattern and just see what we can achieve. Fingers crossed this goes well. Otherwise, a lot of work down the drain. Anyway, guys, let's go ahead and give it a try. That absolutely looks crazy, doesn't it? It really looks weird and crazy. So let's go ahead and fill in some of the areas with this extra dark sea gray. I'm hoping that this will add an additional layer of interest to the model itself, and I'm really digging this color anyway. So let's go ahead, give it a try, see what this extra dark sea gray can do when it's mixed with the light gray for the marbling coat here on the Whitley. Lots more work to do, guys. Let's just keep going. All in all, I am pleased with the overall results. It's not too crazy, but also it's got a lot of character to it, so I'm happy with that. Now we're going to go ahead and mix up a blend coat of NATO black. That's not really black, but it's also not really gray or not really green. It's kind of a mixture of all three of those colors. So I think the NATO black is going to be perfect. We're going to heavily dilute it. We're going to hit the airbrush at about 15 psi, and we're going to just cover the entire aircraft in NATO black. right, everybody, I am happy with this blend coat. It looks exactly what I was going for. Not completely uniform. We've got some subtle shades, we've got some darks, some lights, but overall it looks black. That's what I was going for. So, mission successful. Now we're going to have to turn our attention over to the top of the aircraft, however, so let's go ahead and discuss that in just a brief moment. Now, the actual aircraft has these glazings, and I've tacked them in quickly without the actual turrets in them. I've just tacked on the glazing with some basic Elmer's school glue. That's going to hold on the parts and allow me to go ahead and airbrush over them and get that nice camo pattern to extend over the entire glazing. Now we have, of course, a demarcation line between the top of the aircraft and the bottom of the aircraft. We need to go ahead and keep that line as clean and as crisp as possible, so I'm going to be using some blue tape. Now this tape is wonderful. It's not expensive. You don't have to waste a lot of Tamiya masking tape, and I've always had success with the blue tape. It's the low tack version of blue tape. I think it's made by Scotch. It should work just fine. I've used it before. I don't have any doubt that it should work perfectly in this application. So let's go ahead and just get this stuck right into the wing root, and then we're going to stretch it back over to the horizontal stabilizers. So there are some very swooping lines here on the front of the nacelles. I've used some basic putty for that. This is that stuff you'd use to hang posters on a wall. So that should work just fine. Now what I'm going to do here is something I've never done before. I'm going to try and draw out the camo patterns using the marbling coat. So I'm going to start off with that wonderful dark brown by Tamiya. Then we're going to switch over to dark green by Tamiya, and we're just going to marble everything we can and just see what we can do. Draw out the camo pattern here and then make alterations and corrections when I get to the blend coat. So let's try it, see what happens. Yeah, I like it. We're going to go ahead and now move on to the blend coats for the dark earth and the dark green. I was hoping to use some of this MMP paint, but we're going to use that for a lighter shade a little bit later because it's a bit lighter than what I want. So let's go ahead and bust out that dark earth, get this mixed up, and then hit the dark green. With all of the blend coats out of the way, guys, we're going to quickly grab our Tamiya Smoke and we're going to go ahead and trace some of the panel lines to give it an even extra bit of interest. I think the blend coats were a success. I have achieved what I was going for, but still need a little bit of extra interest. That's where the smoke comes into play. So let's go ahead and trace off those panel lines. All right, everybody, we are done. Whew, that was a long airbrushing session, guys. But we have everything done. We've got our blend coats, we've got our top coats, we've got our marbling coats, we have our Tamiya Smoke traces there in the panel lines. I did a little bit of extra where I'm hoping to put some weathering powders for some exhaust stains. We are done. That's going to be it for today. Now, next episode is going to be ramped up a lot sooner. I'm going to try to put one out on Wednesday for the final reveal, and we're going to go ahead and call this beautiful kit done. Let's go ahead and pull off the masks though, because there's no other painting that we need to go ahead and do. Up next, of course, is we have the future, we have the decals, we have the weathering, and then the bits and bobs like the antennas, the landing gears, and all of that. We should have a completed Whitley by Wednesday, October 31st. So until then, I'm really hoping you guys are having success. I know I'm loving this build. Big shout out to Martin there. Thank you so much for hosting. We will see you back here for the final reveal episode on Wednesday, October 31st. So fingers crossed, we'll get this done. So that's it for me. We'll see you back here on the next episode of Ben Builds. Stay safe, keep on building. Good luck with your builds. We will see you soon.